Imagine if you were never allowed to leave your house.
That's how it is for him.
Swimming to the bottom is like a trip to the basement. Maybe it's a 3-story house and he like stop for rest after like a storage or whatever down there. But he doesn't only want to live in a 3-story house. Spend every day taking trips to the kitchen, then study or whatever. I mean, it's not a small house. Guest room, always vacant, whatever, lonesome bedroom.
It's like, don't you want to go to the bar? Your friend's apartment? A restaurant? A couple times over? Vacation sometime even?
What I'm saying is, this lake was pretty sweet for this guy when he showed up. No one else in his whole species had been in this place before, but had all the shit they like to eat. No competition or anyone trying to take any of this crazy bounty of all his favorite shit. No one trying to tell him what's what. Kind of like Macaulay Culkin in Alone. All pumped up at first, but also kind of like the kids in Hansel and Gretel or some other kind of story like that. You gotta be wary when things are too good. You gotta ask yourself, why is no one else eating this cake? And it wasn't a trap on purpose by anyone, probably, unless there's some sea monster god teaching some lesson about greed and selfishness. Maybe this is like a haunting in a way. Maybe I'm out of my mind, but ghosts, maybe they walked across the land and the ice melted. But like, it's something other than land to us, but it might as well be land to them. Water is land to fish. And our big fish, our big world, his bridge was built during the flood.
Biblical style.
For him, it was kind of like when the tide comes in at the beach and submerges the tide pools. It's a good time to read around those rocks, and maybe when it happened he was young and unfamiliar with the tides, but when the tide goes out, you gotta get out of there, dude, or you're trapped and the tide comes back in. So now Macaulay Culkin can't leave the house and his family is never coming back. He's never gonna kiss a girl or have a family of his own someday. Maybe he gets really good at like cultivating food out of his resources available in the mansion. I mean, for our big guy, there's definitely gonna be resources there for him. This lake, his type, it's huge, but he does have to start eating more consciously to make sure he doesn't too egregiously desiccate a population, especially of his favorite foods. I mean, hope for his sake, these are things that cross his vision mind. But besides all that, he just gets lonely, just like that little Home Alone kid did. Learns a lesson about how he really feels about his family, who and what he misses, but dude, many thousands of years since floods like that. It's still in there. He hasn't talked to a friend in thousands of years. Is he crazy now? Socialization important to his species. I mean, I know everyone and everything is gonna get kind of pissy if they ever get to the top. But we know this species is fucking ancient. It's the oldest living thing on Earth or sea. Maybe he's still waiting for the tide to come back in. Maybe it will someday. He knows. Maybe not from his own memory, but maybe it's the people taught him that. Maybe he listened to it and that's what got him in the situation. But I remember something Grandma said about this or that, or what happens so every so many thousands of years, or however they would measure it, sense it. Because, I mean, more likely it has little to do with memory, and you can forget all that about Grandma. And it's more like how birds know how to fly in places at the right time. Monarch butterflies, you know. Baby sea turtles, man. As soon as they're born, they gotta run like hell to the ocean to survive. Either way, he's lived thousands of years and he's patient. He's been willing to wait for so long to up there. What he's meant to do is start a billion times over. His body's meant for it. His mind. It's again, talk about instinct. So after all this time being patient, he's getting antsy, dude. He must be pretty smart, because even in the face of all that instinct, hunger, and urge, he has maintained a pretty decent harmony with all that lives there. Enough so that he hasn't depleted all the sources of food, and enough that he's not mostly get noticed up on land by us people. Legend here. Or any photo there. Here's another thing about tide pools. The gulls descend to them when the tide goes out. It's good eating for them too around those rocks, especially if some big wet food goes on in the shallows. Like I've said, what we've got here is no food. It's not shallow. It's bringing him to the surface, I think. It's making him take these risks, because I think he must have learned to seldom show his back. His man's fear. It's either instinct or desperation, probably both, there's even a difference at this point. Maybe he knows his reproductive window's closing. Been too long without humans with dorsal. I mean, it all comes down to biology. Maybe, like baby sea turtle, he just intrinsically knows that he's gonna have to cross the land to get to the ocean, even if everything that sees him up there is gonna want to kill him. His species, or at least him, has any chance to survive. Or still, maybe he thinks the flood is coming. Maybe he thinks it's gotta be. It's been waiting so long. Maybe it is, man. Sea levels are rising. You know, what I keep wondering, man, is what happens when he makes it to the ocean? Because honestly, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm rooting for this guy. I mean, Jesus, of course my heart goes out to the families. I hate for my loved ones who ever cross his path, but I'm thinking about his loved ones. No evidence suggests that there's any of his species left in the whole ocean. I mean, sure, he stayed hidden long enough in this lake. Something like that might stay pretty discreet at the bottom of the abyssal void, but we have fossils of this guy's fucking cousins and shit, probably. Or at least his mom's great aunts, cousins, or something like that. Shit. What if, I mean, at this point, it would be the least of my worries, but say the flood comes and he finally does get back to the ocean, and there's no one he knows left. None of his species left at all. After he was so patient, how would he feel? Finally free to stretch his fins, swim across the globe, but how lonely would he be? Finally back in the ocean with no single soul of his kind left to greet him. That's what I mean by like a haunting, man. He's like a living ghost of his own time. He just slipped through a door and he never knew how different things could be on the other side.